Looking for an easy crochet pattern that is versatile for a baby blanket, an Afghan, a kitchen towel? Watch today's video and I show you a good one. I am continuously in search of the easy, fast stitch. Today's video, I show you the Lark's foot. I love it. It is a good one. I made a baby blanket at Afghan. I have some crochet thread. I'm going to start working on some kitchen towels. So watch today's video and I show you everything you need to know on how to make the Lark's foot stitch for your project. The stitch that I'm going to show you that you can use on all different kinds of blankets came from this book. It's the Complete Photo Guide to Crochet. As you can see, I was very fortunate. I spent $1. It still is available in print. I have the link down below, but it's a really great resource. It does give you a couple projects, but basically it just gives you different stitches. So for the sample that I'm going to show you, I'm just going to do 3 colors, red, white, and blue. The stitch suggests to do a rotation of 3 colors. I have one that I'm going to show you that I did with scraps. I have one that I've done with 2 colors, but I'm going to show you 3 colors. Start with your slip knot, and I do a slip knot by wrapping around my index finger and thumb, giving it a little twist, and pull up the yarn. Don't pull up your tail, pull up your yarn. And this is just worsted weight yarn. When you're picking your yarn, make sure that it's all the same weight, especially when I show you the scrap Afghan that we're going to do with this stitch. Pick the same weight. So for the worsted weight, I chose to do an H crochet hook. Okay, so the stitch that we're going to use for these different blankets is called the Lark's foot. And for the Lark's foot, it is done in increments of 4, then you add 2. So you can make it as wide as you want. So for like the baby blanket, which I like to usually have them be about 30 some inches wide, I just sat and went 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 until it got to the width that I wanted. Let's do one more. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is for our sample, and then we have to add 2 at the end. And now your base row is, we're going to do a row of single crochet, and you're going to start that in the second chain from the hook. So that's number 1, and there's number 2. So a single crochet, we're just going to stick it in. I like to stick it under both of the parts of the chain. We're going to draw it, and then draw it through both. We're going to stick it under both, draw it through, and then draw it through both. So you're going to just do single crochets all the way across. Okay, here is the last single crochet. And so there you have just a simple beginning row of single crochets. Chain 3, turn your project, and we're not going to go into the very first single crochet because, and the way to remember that, these chains, that represents a double crochet. So you've already done a quote-unquote double crochet in that first one. So we're going to do 3 double crochets, and a double crochet is you loop it over, stick it through, draw it back, draw through 2, draw through 2. And so we're going to do 3 of those. And then we're going to chain 1, and that chain 1 has us skip the one down below, so we're going to skip that one and do 3 more double crochets, and chain 1, skip the single crochet down below, and you're going to continue that over to the end. Okay, when you get to the end, we're going to end with 4 of them. So 1, 2, 3, and you do 1 in your first chain. So there you have 4 double crochets on your first side, 3, 3, 3 with a gap in between, and then you end with 4. So we're down here to the end. We're going to chain 3 again. Every row is chain 3 to start. We're going to turn the project, and we're going to duplicate that row all the way across. So you're going to do 3 double crochets in the top. You're going to chain 1, 3 double crochets, and chain 1. So this is just your beginning repetitive part, so you're going to have to follow me on this one, but in a second I will be showing you how from here on there's a rhythm. It's a 2-row pattern. Once you get it in your head, it's just easy sailing. Okay, I'm down to the end, and we end with 4 double crochets as well. Oh, looks like I have a little splice in my scrap yarn there. Okay, so here you have your beginning foundation, and so now we're going to start doing the repetitive pattern, but to start with you need to have this as your foundation rows. So go ahead and trim your yarn, and since it's on the end of the row, I am just going to pull it through, make a little knot there, and feed in my tail. There's other ways you can join yarn without the knot, but it's on the end and it works real well just doing it that way. So I have that pulled through. So now we're going to go with white. Go ahead and do a slip knot again, put on your white, and insert it where you left off with your knot on the red, and just pull it a slip knot or a slip stitch through. Tighten it up, and now we chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and we turn the row. And this is where it gets to be really fun. So on this row here, I'm going to give you the big picture of what you're doing, and then I'll do it. So if you just, when I say this, you'll hopefully get what I mean. We're going to create a gap here. We're going to make a long double crochet here, create a gap, long double crochet. So to create the gap on this row, we're going to double crochet in the first one. We're going to chain 1. We'll skip the one down below, and we'll do a double crochet. So you will remember from here on that when it's a pattern of 3, there's always going to be a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Then we're going to do a long double crochet, this is really cute. You're going to loop over. You're going to go down to the bar of the row below, and you're going to draw your yarn that way. You're going to stretch out your stitch so it stays nice and tall. You're going to go through your 2 and go through your 2. So there's a long double crochet, and then you do a double crochet in your next double crochet below. Now we're going to create another gap. Chain 1, double crochet. Now we're going to long double crochet. Go down to the bar down below, stretch out your stitch, pull it up, and double crochet. So there you have another pattern of 3. So we have create a gap, long double crochet, create a gap, long double crochet. So you're going to continue that all the way across. Okay, so we're down to the 4 at the end, and so we're going to do 1. We're going to still create the gap, and we're going to end with 2 double crochets. So at this point, you have created a gap, and so to keep in mind what the big picture is, this gap is the same as this one down here. So eventually, a long double crochet is going to come down to that. So we have a gap, long double crochet all the way across. You come to the end, chain 3, and on the second row of your color, you basically follow exactly what is below. So there was a double crochet, there was a chain, there are 3 double crochets, and a chain. So on the second row of the color, you 100% follow what is below. Coming down to the end, and you have 2 double crochets. Remember, the chains count as a double crochet. So you have 2, and we fasten off the second color. Okay, so here is the front of 2 colors. Now we are going to do blue. Okay, this is the knot that I ended with the white. Gonna slip in my blue here. Chain 3. We're going to turn, and now we do the same pattern that we did on the row 1. So like I said, it is just 2 rows. So we're going to do a double crochet. first row, you go a long double crochet down below. We're going to do 1 double crochet here, create a gap, do a double crochet in the top of that one, long double crochet after you've done your long, create a gap, long, all the way across. Coming down to the end, we still do a long, and then you end with 2 double crochets. Chain 3, the second row of the color is you follow the one down below identically. So we have 4 there, there's a chain 1, so we do a chain 1, here's 3, and we're going to end with the 4 because that's what's down below. Fasten off your blue, and there is a 3-color pattern of the lark's foot. So to start the red, it will just peekaboo down below, and it just makes a really, really fun pattern. Okay, here is a scrap Afghan that I've been doing the lark's foot on, and I love it because if you're like me, you have a lot of partial skeins of yarn. This one I used all the same weight. It is all bulky 5. Most of it is leftover homespun. There are some other textures thrown in throughout, but it is all bulky, and the way it reaches down on the different colors, I love it. So I did the 2-color combination all the way throughout. On this one, I used a size K crochet hook because it is kind of bulky, so I did a bigger hook. Okay, here is the same lark's foot pattern, but only using 2 colors. And this is a baby blanket. I'm using baby yarn. And again, it's just leftover. So this is a really good pattern for scraps. But wanted to show you what it looks like with finer yarn. So for this one, I used a G hook, and there's no different. There's no pattern changing, but I just wanted to simply show you how nice this looks when it is fine yarn as well. So just pick a hook that matches the weight of your yarn. And so for this one though, instead of doing 2 rows of each color, I have done 6 rows. So it's 6 purple, 2 white, 6 purple, 2 white, and I think it's going to make a fantastic, cute little blanket. I'm adding the border now to the baby blanket, and I decided just to do a simple double crochet all the way around. I was contemplating a ruffle, but it just is such a nice tailored look. So on the ends of the rows, I alternated 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, all the way across. Otherwise, it was getting too sparse or too full if I did a couple of them. On the bottom, it's pretty straightforward because you're just going to be putting a double crochet in each of the stitches. Remember, on the corner, you're going to have to put 3. So on your corner stitch, put 3 double crochets. But that will finish this baby blanket off really nice. Okay, so here we have the regular Afghan with the lark's foot pattern, and here we have a baby Afghan. I'm excited. I have some dishy cotton yarn, worsted weight yarn. I'm going to be doing some dishcloths with this. I really, really love this lark's foot pattern. So if you have any question while you're doing your projects, please comment down below. But as always, I truly appreciate you watching DIY on the House.